Hi, Dennis Weiss, Regal Communications. Welcome to our town. We have a very exciting announcement from Elizabeth Weiss, who's the Executive Director of Great Plains Theater, about some new fun things coming to our town.
That's right. That's right. We have partnered with Bonebrake Productions, James Holland, and we are bringing music back to Great Plains Theater. Yes, yes. After a short hiatus.
Right, in the old Dieter Hall. This was something James had, in his entrepreneurial spirit, had put together.
That's right.
And he used Dieter Hall to put live music in there. Had great acts and a lot of fun. We'll have James on in a little bit, and I'm going to get him to talk about some of this. But from your perspective as the theater director, I know you like live music, but I'm pretty sure that's not why you did this.
Sure. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about that on the way to work this morning, about kind of reassessing where I am in my position at Great Plains Theater and where's my passion. And truthfully, my soul is that Great Plains Theater is such an important part of our community and our region, and to maintain and to grow Great Plains Theater into the potential that it can be. You know, it has always been known for 22 years as a place where you come for great live theater performance. It's been known for at least 10 years for our youth programming. And then for a little while we had some live music, but we also want to grow that. So it not only encompasses those things, but to grow. So when people truthfully say, what's there to do in Abilene, Kansas? That the first thing they think about is, let's see what's going on at Great Plains Theater. Whether it's a live performance or our youth activities or the cinema or live music, or we're getting a comedian in, we're getting a magician in. So we're expanding our programming, if you will, to encompass more and to grow regionally. We just have a lot of exciting things going on.
I want to walk through some of what you and I see as your job,
Sure.
and but the community sees as Great Plains Theater.
Sure.
So how many live professional theater shows do you have this year?
We have 4.
You have 4. Historically, back in years 0 through 20 or 21, how many?
We had 6 or 7.
6 or 7. So there's a decision in there somewhere.
Right.
That is also reflected back to this concert series,
Sure.
frankly.
Sure.
So as you sat here in your chair and thought about 6 or 7 versus 4, walk us through that.
Sure. Well, the reason, quite frankly, that we dropped down to 4 for this year was, as the audience well knows, or maybe they don't, we lost our theater. So as we were hopping around from location to location with a staff of 3, it got a little overwhelming. And so when we moved here to the great Thunderstruck building and knew that we were going to have a home, the decision was made to do 4 shows to kind of let us breathe, take almost like a gap year, right? Sure. That we could reassess what we're doing, where we're going, how we're going to do things. We had some staff changes, and to get a team. I wanted a theater team put together to grow Great Plains Theater into not only the regional theater that it is, but to expand our programming. And so that's what we've done this year. And we're as our board meets and we reassess things this year to do the 4 shows in the summer, and then do our Christmas show, but then have what we call these one-offs. Like the magician coming in. Well, Michael Misko's coming back to do a magic show as a fundraiser, so that's great. But put other things in there, like the comedian, or to institute the Bonebrake music series again.
I think of this business, things I know now that I didn't used to know,
Sure.
and which is a lot.
Me too.
But this is a business that is always planning a year ahead. Your season has to be planned,
Yeah.
and much of the plan executed a year ahead of time.
Two would be better. And quite frankly, Dennis, after the fire, that set us back with that momentum going forward. And to take this year to try to to reassess and think of where we're going. This year we went to 3 matinees during the week, specifically to try to get the buses to come back to Abilene. That was the goal. A lot of phone calling, and then giving them the option of, you have 3 days to pick from. Can you get a tour group together in this time? Meeting with the area restaurants and saying, let's get a package together. Let's get people here to Abilene, not only for day trips, but see if we can offer something that they would stay overnight and do a 2-day trip or a 3-day trip to Abilene. So there's those. Kind of plans. They're 2 years out, at least 2 years. Their catalogs are out, and they're so for us to, after the fire, that we just had that momentum and kept going, and didn't really take that time to go, okay, what's our plan, and how are we going to fix this plan? How are we going to keep going? So that's what we've done.
Quick question.
Sure.
How was your bus traffic for Annie Get Your Gun?
It was great. We had, out of our 6 productions that we did, 9 productions that we did, 6 were sold out. We had 2 days of buses. Wednesday and Thursday were completely sold out with the bus groups. So that's, that is amazing that they have come back this quickly. And there was one group from Oklahoma that came up, and this is our first summer in this space, so we're learning right along with everybody else here what the capabilities are of this building. And little did we know that our air conditioning was not sufficient enough. It seemed fine, but then you fill it with 150 people and actors and lights, and it's a little different.
And the week that it was 104.
110. It was 110, and a flat roof building that's probably silver up there, I'm not sure. But so we learned relatively quickly that the air conditioning capacity was not where it needed to be. So people will be pleased to know that out of the 4 that are up in that auditorium, 3 were working somewhat. 1 was not working at all. So we have been working very diligently, Four Seasons has been working very diligently these past few weeks to remedy that. So we should be ready for the next onslaught of heat with a packed house.
Well, I'm sure people would much rather hear from you and certainly look at you on camera than they would me. But it's kind of my job in this camera. Everything that you're describing here screams sustainability. Sustainability. We're trying to make this thing survive another 22 years.
That's right.
And a chance to do that means these decisions. So we've got 2 minutes left. I want you to tell us how excited Great Plains Theater is for the Bonebrake concert series to fill your hall again.
We are very excited. I can't thank James enough for volunteering his time, quite frankly, to help us and get this back up and running, and to give people the opportunity to have live music here again at Great Plains Theater. Not only live music, but a variety of choices for people to come to. So when you're thinking of what can we do, greatplainstheater.com and see what's going on here.
Can go to dinner, come to the show.
Absolutely.
Go have a drink, make it a complete evening of economic opportunity for Abilene, Kansas.
And part of my directorship, if you will, is, people are saying, well, you're always kind of asking for money. And I am, so I'll be quite frank, I am. But as a nonprofit, we survive on ticket sales and donor monies, sponsorships for our shows and our youth programming and the music. So if you're a music lover out there and you'd think, oh, I'd like to underwrite one of these artists that are coming in, please call James or I, and we'd love to sit down and talk with you.
Or if you're a business owner and you're looking for a way to reward your 20 employees, well, gosh, buy them a series ticket to the Bonebrake concert series at Great Plains. Everybody will love some music.
And the ticket, just so you know, we're doing the ticket sales a little differently than we did at the old theater. We're putting 9 reservable tables on the front, so you can buy a table with 4 chairs, and the prices are going to vary depending on the artist, but those tables that are going to be up front are going to be the to sit there, you have to reserve them and pay for them.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, Elizabeth, thanks for introducing us once again to the exciting things at Great Plains Theater and the Bonebrake concert
Thank you.
series. Can't wait myself. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll put James Holland in that chair and talk about who's coming and things like that. So thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Folks, we'll be right back. Hi, back with James Holland, who is going to tell us some very important things. Number one, who was Mr. Bonebrake and why did you choose his name for your efforts to promote live music in Abilene?
Okay, well, J.E. Bonebrake was an entrepreneur here in Abilene, and he actually had his fingers in a lot of things. Before C.L. Brown did, he had a hardware store. He had some electric company, some telephone stuff, and his house actually sits on the same block that the old Great Plains Theater was sitting on.
Okay.
At 4th and Mulberry, and his house, he actually was the first person to have a telephone installed in town, and it went from his office, which was at the Bonebrake Opera House, which is roughly where Lifehouse Church is now.
Okay.
To his house, and so he was the first person to have a telephone line installed.
No kidding.
Yeah, in his house to his office, and so he could call himself apparently, but I'm not sure exactly how often that worked. It's probably the wife calling him.
Yeah.
But anyways, and he had he had the Bonebrake Opera House where there used to be live theater and all kinds of interesting things there, and at one point I decided that I wanted to promote live music in Abilene, I just came back to the Bonebrake name because I think, first of all, it's a pretty cool name.
A cool name.
It's a cool name.
Cool
right?
name.
Can't give that up. And then, of course, I use his portrait as in some of the marketing materials because he's a surly looking bearded guy, and he
Looks a lot like you.
No,
I
not
think
quite.
so. I think so.
He's a little more debonair, I think.
Well,
but
I've seen both side by side, and I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, no, he was. I imagine he was quite a character, and so Bonebrake concert series. That's kind of where the name came from.
Yeah, and gosh, how time flies. But we had some great times with live music over on Mulberry in the
Yes,
Great
we
Plains
did.
Theater there. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah, we. The old Dieter Hall there was just irreplaceable. I mean, the
round mound of sound.
Right, and
it really was.
The wood vaulted ceilings and the arches and all of that, which really acoustically it reflected all the music back to the stage,
Right.
and you really didn't need a whole lot of amplification in that location. And the first show we put on was the Prairie Acre, and they were old timey bluegrass band from Lawrence. And I remember Tricia Spencer, the fiddle player, was warming up, and she was just like,
Yeah, I do too.
she was like, wow, where's all this noise coming from? And it was just, and half the bands that came through commented on the room at the time. And we did 3 years worth of shows and had over 32 different bands come in. Some of them played multiple shows because they liked the venue so much. And it was a good time. And if you didn't make it to that event and that location, you missed out.
Round 2 is coming.
The round 2 is coming.
Round
That's
2
right.
is coming. You're the director of the Abilene Area Chamber of Commerce. You're out every day promoting business up and down the main streets of our communities
Absolutely.
in Dickinson County. You and I have talked about this as friends and as business associates both, that business does not have to be unfun. I think of live music as very fun. It's something that every small town wants. Then the question's often framed like this: oh, what can I do after 7 o'clock? Because many small towns, the answer is nothing.
Right.
You can't. There's nothing to do after business is shut down on Main Street. This is precisely what the marketplace says it wants to do, which is to have entertainment or something fun to do after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And gosh, there's this won't take second place to anything. The bands that you have brought in the past and that you're scheduled to bring in here are fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of things as far as the economic development part of it is the old series. We had people come from as far away as Hayes to come to Abilene to watch shows, and we were fishing, I'll say, artists off of I-70. We're right here,
right.
Roughly, not halfway, but you got Kansas City on one end, you got Denver on the next end, and you get a lot of bands coming through midweek or late in the week that, maybe they've got a gig that pays the bills, a festival or something in Denver. They're looking to cut costs, and they'll come to play an hour show in Abilene, and so you can get some good talent off I-70 from coast to coast. Just keeping your schedule open, keeping your eyes and ears open, and working with people. So,
here at Great Plains, I think live theater is really taking off again.
Yes.
As you look from the transition of the historic building to no building to now a home here. All of us look, is a renaissance going to happen? Is a rebirth? Or is life going to take off? I think the answer to that has clearly been yes. And I asked myself as a business guy when I heard about this idea, I said, so what is it that's selling out Annie Get Your Gun? What is it that sold out Smoke on the Mountain? What it has sold out those shows have been very popular over the last few years. There is a common thread, it's music. I think the sold out shows have music in them. Not that some of the other shows haven't done almost as well, but nothing tops the musical here. And so I'm very hopeful that as we become consistently part of live music entertainment in the area, that this becomes a foundational thing that Great Plains can hang another hat on.
Absolutely, yeah. And when we initially started the concert series, it was there was a wonderful asset in the theater, and there were nights that it was sitting empty, and bringing live entertainment, and just adding that little bit to it was something that they were supportive of, and that gave me an opportunity to work on something that has always been my passion. I mean, since I was a little snot-nosed kid rolling around the mud at bluegrass festivals, I've always been around music and appreciated it. And I found out that I wasn't quite the banjo player I thought I could be. With the time I had allotted to do it, but anyway, so that was just a good outlet for me to do it. And once again, bringing that extra live entertainment element to the theater, to fill in some time, and also to offer things that this town hasn't had consistently.
Tell us who some of the bands are that are in the immediate schedule.
The immediate schedule. Well, I happen to have in my pocket.
You happen to have.
Yes, because
I thought it was because you're always very prepared.
Oh, well, that too. Yes. So far this year, with the new series, well, kind of talk a little bit about how that came about.
All right.
Is of course the new location. They've got everything up and running. The movie's going great. The live theater's going great. And Elizabeth Weiss, the director, contacted me and said, "Hey, are you interested in helping us promote the concert series again?" And it is a lot of work, but it's something that I think we can put together. And so here's the first 4 dates of what's going to be the 4th season after a short hiatus of the Bonebrake concert series at the Great Plains Theater. It's a little something for everybody here. August the 27th. These are all 7 p.m. Okay. August 27th, we have Eddie Delahunt. He's from Dublin. He's an Irish folk music singer, and he brings Gabe, his sidekick, with the drum, and they play some great Irish folk music. That's going to be August 27th. September 17th, and this is sort of by request. We had a few people in town want Red Dirt Country, which is
very popular today.
Kind of and not being really familiar with the genre, but going into it, I find it very soulful type of country music, centered in Oklahoma. And we have a guy who's professed to be the Red Dirt legend, Mr. Brandon Jenkins, is going to be here September 17th, and he's a great talent. after paying attention to his stuff. October 21st, we have Tim and Miles Thompson, and they are a father-son duo. They've played the Walnut Valley Festival and lots of bluegrass festivals and folk music festivals around. Very good musicians. The father plays the guitar, the son will play the mandolin and fiddle, or violin, depending on what the song is. But great singers, great harmony, and just a lot of energy with those guys. That's October 21st. And then this one is November the 5th. By request, returning to Abilene is Piper Lee in the smoking section.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen her, she's from Wichita, has quite a following, and she's kind of the somewhere between Janis Joplin and Melissa Etheridge is kind of her sound, and so it's bluesy, but it's also a little rocky. Got a little rock to it. So I think that's first 4 shows that are coming up this fall, and they're going to be really good.
Well, James, gosh, very exciting that we're going to have a chance to participate with the Bonebrake concert series once again at Great Plains Theater. It'd be fantastic for the community, fantastic entertainment. Yep. Thank you for your part in it.
Sure. And if you're a music lover, just go to greatplainstheater.com and check out the calendar and find those things. And you got to support live music. It takes support of the community to keep them coming. So
as always,
hope you do.
The vote on what happens in a community belongs to the people behind the lens.
That's right.
We work together to put these things in front of them, choices. They get to choose what lives and dies.
That's right.
That's what a great opportunity to vote with your feet. Have a wonderful evening at each of these concert series. I guarantee you'll appreciate it. Hey, glad you could join us today. I'm Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications. This is James Holland. He works for almost everybody as the executive director of the Chamber of Commerce here in the Abilene area, and just all around good guy. We hope you have a great day.